Hey friends, welcome to the Empowered Homes podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to grow strong families by connecting church and home. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, do all those things. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, it would really help us if you give us a review so we can get more great content out. So we're glad you're joining us today. Today I have special guest Meghan Landi. Meghan, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Meghan is with Empowered Homes. If you're listening and you're like, yeah, I've been on Empowered Homes, I've looked at resources, I've checked out stuff, which I hope everybody listening does. Meghan's hand has been on everything, basically. So you do a lot of the content, editing, and making sure stuff gets on there that's quality. So anything that I write, you rewrite and make it sound good.
It's a team.
Yeah. And so, Meghan, you're I don't know what your official title is, assistant.
Yeah, to the assistant.
To the assistant of Empowered Homes. But you do a lot of great stuff with Empowered Homes. And I wanted to get you on the podcast because we're going to talk about Christmas. It's Christmas. We're going to talk about thriving through Christmas break. Before we jump into our content, Meghan, tell us about your family and just a little bit about who you are.
Yeah. So we moved to Texas 6 years. It's been almost 6 years ago. And I am married to Joe. He is the student pastor here at Kingsland Baptist Church. And we have 2 kids. Logan is 11 and Riley is 5. And they keep us hopping.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys are busy, growing family, lots of great things. And so as we get into the content today, we're going to talk about thriving through Christmas break.
Yeah.
I think there's a stigma of Christmas break, and most of the time you'll hear content of surviving, but we want to talk about thriving today. And so we've got some great tips, and here's what we've done. Before we get into this, though, we'll talk about kind of our plans for Christmas break. So if you're listening, I asked Meghan to come up with 5 things, or 5, I don't know what you call them, 5
ideas,
tips, 5 tips for thriving through Christmas break. Don't just survive. And then I came up with 5, but we didn't tell each other. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to this, we're both hearing each other's tips for the first time. So this is either going to be awesome or it's going to be weird.
Or they'll be the same.
Or be exactly the same. We'll see. But what are you doing for Christmas? What's the Landis doing for
We
Christmas?
are traveling back home to Illinois.
Okay.
So 2 days, 18 hours total.
18 hours
We're driving.
In a car?
In a car.
With the kids. How do the
Everybody.
kids do in the car?
They do pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, they do pretty good. They every once in a while will get whiny or whatever and get antsy. But, I mean, I do too, so.
Yeah, 30 minutes in the car with my kids, they're fighting and pulling each other's hair out. I couldn't imagine 18 hours. So traveling up there, when you get up there, do you guys have like a ton of different Christmas families? You got to go with this family, this aunt, this uncle, or is it just kind of one? Or
So we're trying to focus on just like mostly one family this year, and then we will see my side for one day. So we've kind of pared that down from.
Nice.
Sometimes we try to see everybody in 2 days, and that's hard for everybody. So
yeah.
Well,
that's good. So you're going to be one of the many who are traveling.
Yeah.
I am not. We're staying put this year for Christmas. We're going to be around at the house. We're going to see some family Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, but for the most part, we're not going anywhere. We may have like a surprise trip where we just go somewhere for the day just to break it up, but for the most part, we're staying home. So it's good that we both have 2 different Christmases planned for the Christmas break. And the kids are about to get out of school. Mm-hmm. And so you have 5 tips. I've got 5 tips. Mm-hmm. Who's going first? Do we need to Eric, who should go first?
I say Bobby goes first.
Oh,
right.
I'm going first. Okay, Eric has spoken. Thanks, Eric.
Don't steal my tips.
So tips for thriving through Christmas break. And my first one's super cheesy. Like I tried to make it creative and word it in a fun way, but I just wrote Advent, like doing something during Christmas break for Advent to prepare for Christmas. So our family, we have this magnetic Advent box. So each day you open a box and it has a magnet that basically is a cartoon manger scene. And each day, like, one of the kids yesterday got a star. And so apparently there's like 4 stars because they run out of cartoon characters. But it's super fun because our kids like they look forward to it. It's something, I'll hate the day when they're too old for it, but every day is an opportunity to talk about Jesus. Every day is an opportunity to say, Jesus is coming. He's coming. And to talk about his birth and to talk about what the season's about, why we're on Christmas break. And so it's cheesy and kind of, I hope I didn't steal your, but for us, doing something to thrive, if you will, has to be centered on the gospel. And so we have the Advent calendar, and it's really helped us stay on track. So that's my first one.
That's good. We have one too. We've got like a one that hangs, and it's got the little embroidered things, and you stick them on the tree. Yeah. And so it's good. It does keep it right in the center of things.
Yeah. So. It's fun. So that's my first one.
Okay. So my first tip is, since we are traveling so far, it's embrace the "Are we there yet?"
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Or how much longer?
How much longer are we going to be?
So when you drive 18 hours, then you get the like whiny, crabby, what time will we be there? And so I've decided that we have to stop watching the GPS like estimated arrival time. We're not allowed. We're not allowed to watch that, because we're just going to say, if it says 18 hours, it's probably going to take us 20 hours. So we're just going to bank on 20 hours. We're not going to whine and complain. And then I actually went online and I was like, okay, so what do people do when their kids ask all the time? Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And this lady had a really good tip. She said, give your kids a roll of quarters and tell them every time they ask the question, are we there yet? Or how much longer, they have to pay you a quarter. And this woman said that they only paid her one quarter, and then they ended up with $19.75. I guess there's $20 in a roll of quarters. I don't know. Anyway, they ended up with $19.75 left in their little bank because they learned they shouldn't ask those questions anymore. So, but it's a good opportunity to just have fun and, lots of activities in the car, and be patient with the "Are we there yet?" because we're all trying to get out of the car.
Yeah. Back in, it feels like forever ago, doing student ministry, any trip we take, the students would always ask, like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Mm-hmm. And I said 20 minutes every single time. It didn't matter when or how long we had. I just said 20 minutes. Yeah. And they caught on quick. But,
sure.
That's a good tip. That is a good tip. I couldn't do the estimated arrival thing. Like, I've got to keep that going. I look at that.
Well, when it was just Joe and I, we used to try to beat, you know what I mean? Like, it was a game to beat the time. Yeah. And now I'm just like, who cares? Like, if you need to stop and stretch and run at the rest stop, we'll take the extra 20 minutes, and it's okay.
So a great tip for those who are traveling. Yeah. That's a good one. So that's both our number ones. Number two, for me, since we're staying put, again, none of mine are like, everybody's gonna be like, duh. So to thrive through Christmas, you got to set expectations. And so setting expectations for us is we set snack time. Like, our kids are going to ask all day, can I have some food? Can I have some food? Can I have some food? Yeah. And so at 10 and 2, every day our kids know that's snack time. So they don't have to ask. They just go and get a snack. Bedtime, with Christmas break, times change and they get to stay up a little later. But we have to, if we don't tell them that, like Thanksgiving break, we messed up and we're just like, we'll stay up. But then there was one night where I would go upstairs and it was like almost midnight and Chandler's still awake. I was like, what are you doing? I never said, she said we could stay up late. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So we got to set expectations. If you stay up later, we got to have a time. Device time, we with the Nintendo and iPads, all that stuff of setting a window, because it's easy for us just to be like, just go play your device and get out of my hair. Right. But setting expectations on all those levels and communicating those expectations, I think that's helped us just not pull our hair out, especially, snacks is a big one. And Chapman, that dude would eat all day if we let him.
My kids too. Yeah. They always want snacks.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah.
So that's my number 2.
All right. Well, that rolls into mine, communicating all travel plans. So kind of setting up some expectations. And you talk about this in the conversations with your spouse to thrive at Christmas. But communicating travel plans with everyone. So everybody that you're going to go see, but also your children, because they don't know where you're going and they don't know what time you're going to be there.
True.
And they ask the questions like, where are we going? When are we going to get there? Why are we doing this? And I've realized like Logan, he's 11 and he's very aware of time and what's happening. And he likes to know what's happening. And so when we tell him what's happening, he's a much happier kid. And so telling everybody, and also like, you know, if in-laws are planning on meals and all of that, even if you don't know what you're doing, just like do a tentative schedule and say, this is our flex day. So we might be around, but we might not. So don't plan on anything.
Yeah.
But if we're here, like, hey, let's just go grab pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I owe my mother-in-law a text of what we're going to be doing so that she can plan for us.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's such a good one. Cause I don't know how many times we going on vacation or going somewhere and we just expect the kids to get in the car.
Right.
We're going on vacation and they have no clue where we're going and how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
So you could save yourself some of those frustrating questions in the car by just communicating. It's so
quarters
simple.
And communicate ahead of time.
Quarters and communicating. That's awesome. That's a good number 2. All right, number 3 for me, how to thrive during Christmas break. Schedule rest. For us, we call them stay home days. And so we try to schedule like today we're doing nothing. We're not going to the park. We're not playing with friends. Today is a stay home day. And what we love now is our kids ask for those. It's like,
that's cool.
Can we have a stay home day? And like, yes, that's a great plan. So scheduling that, if you don't schedule it, you're going to fill it up with something. So for us, having it of going, hey, on this day, we just spent all this time with Christmas. We went to this house, this house, this house. This Friday, we're doing nothing. And letting our kids know that helps us kind of survive a little bit, but it helps our attitudes for the other times too. So that's my number 3, scheduled rest.
Intentional rest for thriving is a plus, definitely. My third one is, I got this from a friend. So she hosted, I think it was like 33 people in her house over Thanksgiving break. And 21 of them were kids.
Okay.
Over 2 days, I think they had like several meals and all this. But what she said, and my first response was like, that's chaotic and sounds crazy. And she's like, well, the good thing is my in-law family has this thing where before they leave, after any gathering, everyone cleans the house. Everybody. Okay. So it's an all-in family cleanup.
Wow.
And so they're not like, just like dusting a little, like they're vacuuming, cleaning, dusting, scrubbing toilets, all of that. And so that to me is your family can thrive. Like you can either help someone else thrive by helping them clean their house before you leave. And that's one of our values. Like we want our kids, or our Remember Forevers, we want our kids to leave things better than they found them. Yeah. And so teaching them like all in family cleanup, everybody does it. But then also, if you're just home, like you guys, if you're just home, just schedule all in family cleanup time. Yeah. Set the clock for 2 hours and we're going to, or 1 hour, I don't know how long they'll last, but anyway. Yeah. And just like
all day.
Tell them what they have to do.
Drivers, yes.
And then like a reward at the end too, so that they feel
that's a
excited.
Fantastic idea.
And then you can thrive.
Yeah. Maybe have a few of those. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, for break.
One, to give our kids something to do, but 2, like, I always feel like after the holidays, that week afterwards, we're just trying to pick up the pieces. Right. This could save us a lot of, when the kids go back to school, we're not trying to figure out or clean the house or do a deep clean. It's already done. I love that idea. Yeah. I think if my wife's listening, she's like, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah, come on, Jen.
Make the kids, they already do all their laundry and stuff, but
which is awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely get on that. That's awesome. Yeah. Deep clean day. All right. What number are we on?
4.
4. Okay. This one, I think this should be all the time. Definitely should be all the time.
A lot of these should be all the time. But.
Yeah. But for surviving or thriving, not surviving, Christmas break, we spend a lot of time with family. I mean, you're going to see family. We're going to see family. And family's messy. Mm-hmm. Family gets sticky. There's times where we have those family members that we know maybe push our buttons or say things or do things. And if any of my family's listening, that's none of them.
We love you all.
Yeah. But I'm speaking in general, like for all of us. Yes. It would never happen in my family. But number 4, tip to thrive Christmas break is never talk bad about family members in front of your kids. Right. We just have a rule, even if like we just had a big blowout with an uncle or something. Even though me and my wife want to talk about it in the car, like we shut each other down of like, we're not going to talk bad about family members in front of our kids because they listen and they hear everything. And they'll probably say something to that family member. That's not why we're doing it, but it's we don't want to put a unhealthy perception of someone that they love. And so that's one of our big ones. But I think, again, it should be all the time.
Absolutely.
But
yes.
especially since it's fresh and we're seeing all of our family this year. But that's my number 4. What's your number 4?
Yeah, that's good. My number 4 is Family Serve Day.
Oh,
So one of my favorite memories growing up was going with my grandpa to the Salvation Army, and we would serve Christmas dinner and we would give out toys. And of all the things that we did, like that's what I remember the most. And so I think taking time, some of us have extra time during break to do things as a family. And so set up a time to go volunteer somewhere. Some organizations, their normal volunteers are traveling. Yeah. And so if you're around and you can find a place to serve as a family, like that helps other people thrive. And definitely when you leave, you feel like you're thriving because you've done something that is honoring to the Lord. Yeah, that's awesome. That's an easy, again, something we should do all the time. But with Christmas and having that extra time off, scheduling that's a huge one. Yeah. All right, number 5. This one I love. This is kind of one that selfishly I enjoy, and we do it. We try to do it every year, but during Christmas break, we do one-on-one time with the kids. And so the first week they're out, I still have to work and do stuff, but I purposely don't schedule lunches because I go and pick up one of the kids for lunch every day. And so they get to go have lunch with Dad. And it's just me and, Charlie or me and just Chandler. And if it's Chandler, we're always going to go to Jimmy Chonga's because that's what she wants every single time. Well, she might want sushi now. She's real big into sushi. But that's awesome. But one-on-one time with each kid. And then Jen, if she's got to run an errand, she'll be intentional with grabbing a kid when I get home or going and doing stuff. Or, if Chandler has gymnastics, she'll plan to go to dinner afterwards or something. But we try to do this. We've done this a few years now where each one of us get just alone time, one-on-one with each kid and be intentional with that. And so that's my number 5. That's a good one.
One-on-one.
I think we forget how when we do things as a family, it's great, but our kids do need us one-on-one. And so that's a great one. I love that. So mine kind of goes along that, but it's for a family. It's Family Favorite Day. So you ask your kid, what is your favorite thing to do as a family? And then you make it happen. Nice. And so they might say Legoland, and you're like, well, we're not, that's not in the budget, and we're not traveling to Legoland. But what's your favorite thing to do at home? So Riley, she likes to play board games, and so we pile up the board games and we play board games. And Logan likes to play video games together as a family, and we play Mario Kart, and I'm terrible at it. And I lose every time, and he thinks it's the best thing in the world to beat me. And it's easy to beat me because I'm terrible. But they love it. And so I think any day that you can say, what do you want to do as a family? What's your favorite thing? That's awesome. Yeah. You can even do that with, meals, like favorite breakfast, and let one of the kids pick favorite lunch. And that's awesome. Yeah. Your favorite, what'd you say, favorite day? Family favorite day. Family favorite day. That's great. So that's 10 tips to thrive during Christmas break. And we didn't overlap too much. Not too bad. That was pretty good. I know. We'll have all of these tips on the podcast description. But as we close and wrap this up, just want to encourage listeners, if you're dreading the holidays, if you're dreading Christmas break, you don't have to. You can make decisions now to say, okay, we're not just going to survive, we're going to thrive. And so what we've done with Empowered Homes is we've created a collection of resources on the site, and we'll have all those linked as well. But we have stuff from 3 experiences that I want my family to have. It's an article that we wrote. We're going to have some a question game download card that you'll be able to sit as a family, and we don't know the total number of questions yet. We're at 80 something. Yeah. So our hope is to have over 100. Which I did that this morning with my kids at breakfast. Funny. Like, you go around the table or wherever you're at or in the car, say, hey, give me a number between 1 and 86, and the kid says
14, and you read question number 14 and have them answer it, or you can have the whole family answer it. So we've got a question game download just for you to have with your family. We've got some scripture memorization cards. We've got some communication tools for, you already mentioned, of how do we not let Christmas and Christmas break just destroy our marriages, because if we're not careful, it can be really hard. And so we've got a ton of great resources on empoweredhomes.org for thriving through Christmas break, and we'll have all that attached. But Meghan, thank you for being on the podcast. I'm sure this won't be your last episode. We'll have to get you and Joe on here together. Yeah. Joe's been on a few times, and it's a lot of fun. But if you are wanting more resources to thrive at Christmas break, go to empoweredhomes.org/thrive, and you'll find a bunch of great resources for that. So Meghan, thanks.
Thank you.